Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of art. It's the Tenet Podcast. I'm Todd Pearson here with my good friend, my partner. You know him as quite possibly the most interesting man in the world. The extraordinary, emphasis on extra, Wes Brown.
Hey, Todd. How you doing, man? It's another week. This is going to be another great catch-up interview. This is going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of LS artists out there.
I think you're right, because we're talking with somebody that has been on multiple times, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to mention something that you shared with me last week. You had some facts that you've been logging, and you told me that, well, this is our 130th episode this week, which if you would have told me that 3 years ago, I would never believed you. That us two guys were going to be...
We're just lucky we got past episode 7.
I know. We are. But you told me that we have interviewed 120 different artists and produced 269 hours of content. That's a lot of content, dude.
It is, man. And there's a shitload of take-home notes. People should be listening with a notepad because there's some great info. And tonight will be no different. Get your notepad, sharpen your pencil, bitches.
Yeah. And we just keep rolling along, man. This adventure just continues on
like a fucking train wreck. Keep
maybe
rolling along.
We'll see. We want to remind everyone of the event that happens this weekend, and we're really hoping that this isn't part of our train wreck. No, it won't be. It's going to be a great event. Fleischer Family Farm, in conjunction with the Tenet Podcast, present a one-day art event. Art and Ag happens this Saturday, September 10th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The farm is located at 2005 South Zephyr Court in Lakewood, Colorado, 80227. In what's called the Southern Gables neighborhood. Come out, get some farm fresh produce, tour the farm, check out beautiful art, and support local artists. Check out our social media for more details and the roster of artists. And in the meantime, check out Fleischer Family Farm website at FleischerFamilyFarm.com. And you can follow them on Facebook at the Fleischer Family Farm if you want to see what kind of produce they'll be offering this Saturday at their market. Wes and I will both be there, so come out and say hello. Wes will be doing magic and making balloon animals for the kiddos.
I do crazy snakes.
Do you?
You just blow up the long ones, and there you go. Tie it tight, boom. It's done. Draw a couple eyes with the Sharpie, and you're good.
I think this could be a performance art piece.
I'm
going to get a bunch of balloons for you, dude.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Or maybe we can get them off Amazon. Maybe it's like a box that's been sitting on a shipment container in LA for the last like 9 months. Yeah. How like half deflated. Hand them out to kids as they're walking by. Sorry.
Why is my balloon drooping?
Anyway, come out and say hello. We'll both be there. It's going to be a fun event. I'm excited about the roster of artists that we've lined up, and just happy to facilitate community, not only in the art community, but also with this lovely organic family farm that's in my neighborhood. So can't wait to see you all. And let's get on to the art. Let's get our art on, Wes Brown.
Let's do it. I'm all excited.
It's always a pleasure to reconnect. It's always a pleasure to reconnect with our next guest and hear what he's been up to. This is his third time on the program. You can check out his beautiful work at his website, topherstraus.com, and you can follow him on Instagram at Creative Topher. Topher, how are you?
I am so good. You guys just get funnier and funnier, and it's better and better every time I'm back on. So thanks for having me again, and thanks for being so damn funny, guys.
Oh, I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? This is your third time in 3 years. I think we've been doing this thing for 3 years. It's your annual event, but Rose Frederick's going to get really pissed because I think she's been on 3 times, and she likes to be the one in lead. So let's see if Rose gets back on here soon. Or has she been on 4, Todd?
She's been on 3. Drossman, Dan, our mutual friend, Dan Drossman, has been on 3 times.
Wow.
But Rose gets pretty feisty. Like she's ready to, go Tanya Harding on somebody, when it comes to like anybody that's trying to one up.
I do not want my kneecaps taken out. Get Rose back on. She's wonderful. She's entertaining and fun, and she deserves to wear the crown. So
she's the queen.
Oh my God, man. So we're so excited. Todd listened to your episode today, so he's got some great follow-up questions, and we're excited to hear what's been happening this past year. I know it's some great stuff. So all in all, how you been, man?
It's been amazing. I have been extremely good. I've been really, really busy. I've learned so much, guys. I've only really been at this art journey, showing my art, for less than 4 years. And every year it's just, new things to learn and new ways to grow. And I'm doing awesome, and life is good.
Yeah, man. You never cease to amaze me. And your journey has been spectacular. And it's been really wonderful to check in with you every year since we first had you on, and just see, what you're up to, but also like how you're changing things up, how, what you've learned and what the takeaway is, and your willingness to share that with everyone, because we get a lot of great comments and feedback after your episode. So like Wes said, we're very excited to talk with you again tonight. Last year when we talked to you, you were starting to focus more on gallery representation than just the one-off shows. You're still doing shows, but you were really focused on the whole gallery representation thing. How's that gone, and has that changed at all since we last talked to you?
Oh yeah, it's totally changed. All right, so let's go back in time to year 1. Year 1, I was just doing little shows for 3 weeks, and then I go on to another gallery and do another show for 2 or 3 weeks. And I was just starting out, and just these little, it's a lot of work to get a show together. And so it was a lot of work for me. And I was like, I think that I'm going to try to get into more galleries. And then boom, global pandemic hits. And all of a sudden, the whole world changes. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can't really show in galleries, but I can sell art on my website, and I can do things by myself. And all of a sudden, my website sales took off, right? And then, thankfully, as the pandemic started to end, and I approached a bunch of galleries, and I reached out to them. And now probably 85% of my sales, if not more, come from galleries. And I'm in some really amazing galleries. And I think the most important thing that I've learned from year 1 to year 3 of being on your podcast is just how damn important galleries are. And it's like, if you're going to sign on with a gallery, you want to make sure that the gallery is going to work for you and that they're going to represent you to the fullest. Don't just sign on within a gallery, because I've done in the past. And I've learned that I only work with people with integrity and people that I really like and enjoy working with and could go out to eat with. And so, it's just been a lot of learning to get there. But yeah, galleries, the gallery thing is pretty amazing. I'm super psyched. I just signed on with a brand new gallery this week.
Nice.
Aspen, Colorado, the Aspen Art Gallery.
Wow, dude.
Wow, that's great.
And you know what's cool about that is, because I know a lot of artists listening to this, is that I've been trying to get into Aspen Art with Ben for 4 years. 4 years, guys. I've been going in there. Every time I'm in Aspen, I'm like, hey, Ben. He's like, Topher, mate, we don't really have a spot for you. And I just did not give up. I did not give up. And a lot of people, my nickname is Tenacious Topher, because I do not give up. I keep going for it. And I'm really pleased to have signed with them, because they're a great gallery, and they join an amazing roster of other galleries all across the West.
So how many galleries are you in now? Do you have a count?
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head, but I got my website pulled up. So how about I just run through them and I talk about like just a brief little comment about each one?
Sure.
Yeah.
It all started really, the first gallery that I got into, which was it was just a little bit over a year ago. I walk into a gallery and they're like, hey, you're Topher. I'm like, well, this is going to go well. And they're like, we follow you on Instagram. You're awesome. We love your art and your personality. And that was in Vail, Colorado with Mark and Patrick over at Vail International Gallery. And those guys, you talk about a gallery that does work for you. They work so hard for me and they do so much for me. They advertise. They know everything about me. They engage with their customers. And I just wrapped up a solo exhibition with 35 of my big ass paintings. 35 paintings, guys.
Wow.
It was extremely successful, to say the least. And so my 2023 shows are starting to line up. And Vail International just signed me on for a 2023 show called Topher Straus, Colorado. So that's a great gallery. A little bit after signing on with Vail International, I met with the women over at Breckenridge Gallery, right on Main Street. And their work is a lot more traditional than a lot of galleries. They have they have Gordon Brown and just some really amazing masters. And then my stuff, right, which is so contemporary and so bold and such a different interpretation than anyone's ever seen. They put me in the gallery and I was selling, I was doing well. And about 2 months into representation, they approached me and they said, Topher, we want to open up your own space and call it the Topher Straus Gallery. So I've got my own gallery space and it's open 7 days a week and it's fully staffed. And Tina and Alex over at the Breckenridge Gallery run it as a separate part of Breckenridge Gallery. And I've got about maybe 15 pieces up there. And we just sold a piece today and that's been amazing. I'm right at 124 Main Street. You'll see Topher Straus Gallery. Have you guys been there yet?
No, I haven't been to Colorado since January.
Oh, no, I need to go check it out, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then Aspen Art, which I just signed with, Slate Gray Gallery in Telluride, Colorado. Had a great solo exhibition there called Rendering the West. That relationship is super cool because I worked with Slate Gray. For every painting that we sold during my solo exhibition, we gave a portion of the proceeds to give a child in the community that couldn't afford to go to art school a chance to attend art camp. We provided 8 scholarships to kids in the community to attend summer art camp. So that was amazing. I love every gallery I'm in. I'm in Meyer Gallery in Park City, Utah with Susan Meyer. Really cool story there. When I first started out, she walked into a show that I had on Santa Fe in Denver. And she's like, oh, I like your work, Topher, but I think you should do landscapes and do ski themed landscapes. Here's my card. Guess what? I approached her 2 years later and I said, Susan, remember that big picture of the elephant eyes that you really love, but you said do some ski paintings and landscapes? Well, guess what? Thank you. And so she signed me on about maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And we've been selling lots of paintings there. And then up tripping in Winter Park, Colorado, Shannon does an amazing job for me. And Winter Park is a growing community. And I started doing something cool. And I created a specific painting for Winter Park, Colorado called Bumps, which is a real iconic perspective of Winter Park, Colorado. And we've been selling the shit out of that one. I'm cursing now because I heard you guys cursing, so I think it's okay, right?
It's all right.
Yeah,
We encourage it.
All right. Well, I hope my son doesn't hear this and be like, Papa, you said shit 400 times. And then lastly, the last gallery I'm in, our gallery in Boulder, Colorado. And all these galleries work so hard for me, and they work together. And I've been with a couple galleries that I've pulled out of. I pulled out of 4 galleries in the last year because they weren't a good fit for me. And because people like Rose And other people said, Topher, you need to concentrate on the folks that are doing a great job for you and make sure those relationships are solid. So let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 7 galleries I'm in, but I'm talking to galleries in Palm Desert and San Francisco and Scottsdale, Tucson, and that's all been in a year, guys, since we last talked.
It's amazing. And you're exactly right. You got to fit both ways, right? Your art needs to fit within their gallery, but then they got to fit within what your whole vision and goal is, right? And I know you're a big vision guy because we talked about the very first episode we did is how much of a vision you had. And then the interesting thing is the next year we talked how your whole approach to everything kind of shifted a little bit. You weren't doing the small plates anymore. You're doing the one big one and then a bunch of other ones. Has it changed again, or are you still doing roughly the same kind of thing?
The way that I do it is I do one original. It's 45 inches by 90. And then I do 25 limited editions. When all 25 limited editions are sold out, they're gone forever. After the Bale show, we sold out of 3 limited edition series. And by limiting the work, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, they're just prints. They're not actually. They're limited edition. And when they're gone, they're gone. I'm not going to go around and make more Maroon Bell paintings that sold out a year and a half ago. But those Maroon Bell paintings that people want to sell, few and far between, they're quadrupled in price in terms of how much they're worth. And they're being sold on the secondary market now. So that's another new thing that started for me is now collectors are saying, okay, well, we can sell this and make some good money. But yeah, my vision, I'm always willing to say I've made a mistake or I can do better. But I have to say that when we last talked, that whole plan has worked and I'm gonna stick with it and continue that.
Yeah. And things change, it may change later, and that's fine too. It's not a mistake. It's just you're evolving, constantly evolving.
That's right, Wes. And the cool thing about what we do as artists is we can do whatever the hell we want. We're pirates. We control our own destiny. There are no rules. A lot of galleries are taken a little bit aback by me, like, whoa, wow, Topher, you're so business focused, or you do things your own way, or you can't do that. But guess what? You can. And every one of us artists can. We can do things away. We can reinvent the system if we want to, or not. But we do it because we love freedom. And because we love making art.
There you go. Doing what you love and making money doing it. That's the golden thing, right? You don't have to drive an Uber anymore or anything like that. You can just focus on your art, right?
Right. But it's doing that, but there's a new component. And it's really taken off. In fact, there was a new article in the paper this week about it. It's about how I use my art and I found my purpose in life, which is to give back to my community. And we've talked a little about that, but it's growing tenfold. In fact, in this month, in September, I'm doing 4 charity benefits, and I'm going to be raising probably around $25,000 just this month to help out my community, to help out pancreatic cancer research, mental health awareness, the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art, and food insecurity projects. And so what does it all matter? The success or people saying your art's good if you don't have purpose. And
right.
And the more that I do, the more work that I create and the more purpose I'm finding in my mission, which is to give back to Colorado and organizations that need help. So I'm always open to it.
And you've been talking about that from day one too, how important that kind of stuff is for you.
Well, for me, it is. Yeah. And I'm really fortunate enough to be able to make money at this. I'm really blessed. I'm really lucky, guys. Like, I know how hard it is to be an artist. There's a lot of struggle and a lot of pain, and I feel so blessed to do what I love doing and to be in galleries and to be successful, that I know that it's my responsibility, that I have to give back and I have to embrace, as many people as I can, because many people are embracing me, right? It's a full circle of energy.
Yeah. So about giving back, and I'm kind of hogging the mic here. Sorry, Todd.
No, you're good.
So do you have a formula of how much money you give back? Is it a certain percentage or is it just kind of vary?
That's a great question. I'm a social entrepreneur. I am an artist. My costs, because I produce on metal, my costs are very high. So I understand that, yeah, I do need a purpose, but I also need to make sure that my costs are covered to a certain degree. So with organizations like Wings of Hope, Pancreatic Cancer Research, it's my second year working with them. We're splitting whatever the bid is so that my costs are covered and they're still raising, a couple $1,000s per piece. So yeah, I'm a social entrepreneur, and I think that it's a little disgusting how many charities approach artists and expect things for free.
Yes. And we've talked about that a lot. Yep.
Yeah. But you know what? I say, if you want my work, you need to help me out and cover my costs and help me with marketing as well. But guess what? Through that, I'm going to market the heck out of this, and we're going to sell a piece, and you're going to get a couple $1,000s for each painting. So pretty much 90% of the organizations that have approached me are on board with it. And I think it's crazy how many artists give away their work for free, even when they're trying to do good. And it's wonderful. We all have, as artists, we have to feel and love, and we have big hearts, but we also need to be, looking out for ourselves to a certain degree as well.
Right. And then, your relationship with your galleries, you don't want to undercut your galleries by giving art away, right?
You don't undercut your galleries or your collectors.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of thinking that needs to go on when you're doing this stuff. So yeah, as an artist, once you start getting out there, you need to have your value understood across many channels.
Yeah.
So you can't have, like, on your website, it can't be any less money than a gallery would sell your piece for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Wes's question. So do you have some kind of a formula that you work off of as far as like what percentage goes back to the charity or whatever? Obviously you want to get your costs covered, but whatever they raise is fine by you. Is that the way it works?
Yeah. Like, I'll usually, like my limited editions, I'll knock some money off of the reserve price, meaning that you have to meet the reserve price to be able to buy it. It can't be sold for $1. And then, depending on the setting, I was just at a live auction in Aspen, and that was a setting where people kind of bid against each other. Those kind of live auction settings tend to do more because people see what their neighbors are doing and want to outbid them. But my formula to answer your question is I do 50%. I do the same exact split a gallery takes.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Again, I commend you for doing that. I think what you're doing is fantastic. The fact that you're giving to so many charities and working with all these different organizations, I just think is spectacular. So you touched on it. Name all the charities that you've been working with and that you contribute to on a either semi-regular or regular basis.
Wow, that's a long list. Just this month, in the month of September, I'm donating a painting to Halston's Hope Foundation. They provide scholarships to local students interested in the animal service industry, and who have been impacted by anxiety, depression, or emotional hardships. And so they fund animal-assisted therapy to students, kindergarten through high school. And so my friends Kim and Chuck found the organization because their daughter took her own life, and that's a really healthy way for them to give back to their community and fight an epidemic that's really horrible in the United States with kids and suicide. So and they're doing it in a preventative way. So the fact that they're teaching therapists how to use animals in a therapy session is pretty amazing. So that was That's an organization that I'm working with. I'm working with the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art, BMOCA. Really good museum, guys. Todd, have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, and I've had a great experience each time. That's something that if you live in Colorado or visiting, you should definitely put on your list if you're an art lover to go experience firsthand.
Yeah, and I was really honored when they approached me to work with them and donate a painting. I said, well, what painting do you want? You know, because they're a little more contemporary. I mean, my work's contemporary, but it's not like kind of like super modern, like the kind of art that they curate. And so I was curious what they would choose, and they chose a painting that is a great painting that I love, Guadalupe National Park, but it just hasn't really been seen by a lot of eyes. So that event is gonna help out to a gala. It's a 3-day curated exhibition and silent auction to raise money for the museum. That's on September 16th. The Pancreatic Cancer Research Wings of Hope is a really fantastic organization that is run by Maureen Scholl, and she approached me last year to be a part of it. And I, didn't know that I was going to be speaking. I was kind of caught off guard, and I didn't understand what pancreatic cancer was and the amazing research they did. And now a year later, my aunt is in stage 4 with pancreatic cancer. So it has a whole new meaning to me. So we're going to be doing an event at Centennial Airport to raise money for Wings of Hope. Amazing organization that works out of Anschutz Medical Center. And then lastly, probably the organization that I work with the most is Be Golden. They're a program in Golden, Colorado that deals with food insecurity. Over the course of the last 2 years, whether it be through selling paintings at the Golden Mill Food Hall in Golden, or launching my own hat with Yo Colorado. I've been able to feed over 200 families for 3 months now.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is absolutely out of this world, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so this event is a business leadership event for business leaders in Golden, and I'm the keynote speaker. So that's another change, is that I'm speaking more and more in public, and I'm getting better at it.
I had no doubt you were good at the beginning. So,
but yeah, it's really important for me, to do this, and I work with. That's just this month, guys.
That's crazy, man. That's awesome.
So last year when we talked to you, from the beginning of the year to when we talked to you, you had raised roughly $35,000, and this year you're talking. In this next month, you're anticipating raising $25,000 just in that month alone. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that is going to put me over $100,000 for my art career, which is just less than 4 years old. So I would encourage every artist that's listening to this, find your purpose, whatever it is, and use what you love most to give back to your community in whatever form that takes. But we're leaders. We're leaders as artists. We're thinkers. We're doers. We're innovators, and we can make some positive change.
Yeah, and if you don't have the opportunity to provide a piece, the other thing you could do is just take a percentage of your revenue that you make every year doing artwork, and that works just the same.
Exactly. Plant some trees or whatever. But yeah, there's so many different ways. If you just remove your brain and think outside the box, you can come up with a way to help.
Yeah.
That suits you and your business.
That's right.
Yeah. Every little bit counts, right? So any little bit that you can donate or contribute to a cause that is near and dear to your heart, that makes the world a better place, your community a better place. So again, it's spectacular what you're doing. Seriously, like every time I talk to you, you never cease to amaze me, which is why I love having you on. Like we talked about before, came on the podcast today, we talked about having you on earlier this year, but we just couldn't fit you in. But it's nice to get you kind of in the same time zone, like 1 year later, this is where you're at. I got goosebumps as you're telling me these things.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's important to me as well, because this is a milestone marker for me. Every year around September, I love checking in with you guys. I love reflecting on this journey in art. So it's equally amazing for me. So, and you guys are awesome for doing this and for giving back to your community through bringing a lot of people to the forefront of the art scene. And so you're doing your part too. And I appreciate that. And I see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate that.
Tenet wants to acknowledge our media sponsor, New Magazine. That's NUE. You can follow both the national and the Denver edition of New Magazine on Instagram. The national edition can be found at new_magazine, and the Denver edition at new_Denver_magazine. And I want to share with you something very exciting. Check out the newly launched New Denver Gallery Guide. Look for the signage that says New Denver Gallery Guide that has a QR code, scan it with your phone, and you have instant access to a comprehensive digital guide to Denver's finest galleries and exhibitions. Find this QR code in your favorite gallery, hotel, or coffee shop as you visit and explore Denver. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Topher Straus, and you're listening to the Tenet Podcast.
How else in this past year has your brand and business model changed? Is there anything else that you've done differently or changed up a little bit or gotten rid of or added?
I guess we're focused on business right now. So I advertise the shit out of it. I advertise in a lot of magazines. I pay for advertising in Boulder, Cherry Creek, Aspen. I'm splitting advertising cost in 2 magazines in Park City with my new Park City magazine. So I believe, with my background in advertising, in producing video games and directing films, I understand what the machine is and what needs to happen. And when I first started out this art journey 3 years ago, people were like, "Oh, you're so good at marketing. Your Instagram or this or that." But now people are noticing my work, and that's more in the forefront. But I'm never going to drop the marketing ever, because I understand how everything has to tie together and be in flow and aloha. So.
Dude, you have all the pieces of the puzzle, it seems like, because we talked to many talented artists, but they've been grinding it out for many, many years. But you figured out how to do it. You have figured out where your work needs to be for the people that will really appreciate it, love it, and want to buy it. Yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I've been really lucky, really fortunate. So yeah, it's, and Todd, I'm an open book, man. Like, one thing that really irks me is artists that are jelly. Like, I can't stand that. I think all artists, like, we should all be a community. We should all support each other. We should all, like, I want every artist to be more successful than me. And that's the truth. Like, I love watching, when people shine and when their work gets better. And there's no room for that crap in this industry. Like, we should support each other. There should not be jealousy. We should be supportive. And if you're going to be jelly, then don't be loud about it. Like, get some therapy. Like, take a look at yourself. Like, if you're jealous, take a look at yourself. But I love the artist community. I love when other artists open up to me, and whatever information I have with you guys to help other artists.
That's a fact, Jack. We should have Bill Murray's little soundbite right in there. Yeah, I mean, do you experience jealousy from other artists? I mean, because you've done this in a very short amount of time, and you're killing it. We might have to change your nickname from Tenacious Topher to Charlie Hustle, because you're out there just making it happen, man.
I work hard. I work 7 days a week on my craft. I start working at 5 a.m. every day before my son wakes up. Have I experienced jealousy? Yes. And it used to really bother me. I've experienced some ill shit, and it used to really get under my skin. But I'd like to share a perspective with you guys.
Yeah, do it.
It's like, you're making a movie. You're the star of your movie. You got like supporting actors, like your best friends. Like, you guys are in my movie. I'm so glad you're in my movie because you guys make my movie better, right? And then there's like the crazy neighbor that's fun to deal with and makes it entertaining. And then there's the extras in the movie, the people in the background of the movie that kind of like, they pretend to talk and you don't see their faces because they're blurred out and they're just in the background and they don't really progress your narrative, right? What I found out about jealousy, about haters, about any kind of negative energy, because I don't have time for negative energy. I really do. This is authentically me. I am a beaming, positive, happy guy. And I don't have time for people that don't benefit my joy. Life is so short. You don't have time to let others take the joy out of it. So the people that are jealous, they're extras. They're not going to be in my next scene. And truth is, I used to listen to those people that didn't really matter in my narrative, maybe 80% of the time. But when I turned it and I looked at it and I said, well, you know what? Those people really, like, I don't like them and they don't like me and they don't really belong in my circles and shouldn't really affect my narrative. So if you start looking at life like that, yeah, I still do deal with jealousy. And I always try to tackle it heads on and say, hey, let's talk through it, or I made a mistake, because I often do. We all do. But if someone's gonna have their arms closed and a angry face, and then they're just an extra, and they don't belong in my narrative.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I kind of think I take the approach of just staying in my own lane. Like, I don't want to be party to anyone else's drama or nonsense. I just don't care. Just like focus on your own stuff and keep moving forward, right?
I have a question for you, Todd. Are you in the carpool lane or the slow lane?
I think I'm in the carpool lane because I like you, I want to see people succeed and I want to be a positive force for, good stuff. And I don't know. I just,
like, metaphorically, you're not going to let someone in your car that you don't want in your car.
Well, I definitely am not going to probably invite them back if they're causing the ride to be unpleasant. Let's put it that way.
And while we're getting metaphorical and taking it as metaphorical level, right? Like, the more people you have, if you have to have people in your car to get in the carpool lane.
Exactly.
We have to work.
That's right.
We have to work together.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how some people will attract just the worst people in their life. Like, they just, like, it's a magnet. And I've seen plenty of people like that. It's just, they just seem to attract the wrong people and it just keeps bringing them down. I appreciate what you're saying, because I think we need to kind of purge the people that's not going to be supportive, that's always trying to keep you down. Purge them from your life, because this is a one-trip thing, and you gotta hit it with gusto like you do. I mean, I don't know too many people that is more motivating about life than you, man. You're infectious.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Last year when we talked to you, you were kind of touching on your routine, and your goal last year was to produce 2 new pieces a month. Is that what you still are doing, or has that changed over the past year?
There's some things I'll compromise on, and there's other things that I won't compromise on. No matter how much I've got going on, and sometimes I have a lot going on, a lot. I just finished my second piece this month. It's Everglades National Park, and I haven't released it yet because I've got someone who wants to possibly pre-buy it, but it is on my website, and it's a stunning piece. And I did another piece called Current. And look at this, guys. How funny. If you're listening to this, but you can't quite see this, but this is how I keep myself in check, is every month I write down the 2 pieces that I've done and I keep track of them. And look at that. I am totally up to speed. So I have done exactly what I said I was going to do. And I've done 2 paintings a month, sometimes 3.
April was a good month for you. I seen you had 3 pieces done in April.
Yeah. And I've actually done 3. I'm working on a commission. I don't usually do commissions. I can't do commissions to keep up with this schedule, but I picked up a commission recently, and it's so I'm almost done with that. So I'll really have done 3 paintings this month.
Wow, that's awesome. That's good.
I love this new Everglades piece, man.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when we first talked to you, you had done 11 of the park series, and then last year you did 22. You were up to 22. What's your count now for the park series?
I'm at 31 parks. 32, because I just finished this painting. So that's 32 national parks. I believe in setting goals, and I set a lot of goals for myself. My goal is every year I'm going to do at least 1 national park a month. So I'll have 12 national park paintings. And this is all part of a master plan. Mark my words. I'm going to have an art book of my national park series, and it's going to be, I'm talking to some pretty major publishers right now. Publishing, art books is about 3 to 5 years out. I'm plotting to have all the national parks done in about 2.5 years. So I'm at 31 now, which when my national parks show opened up at Vail International Gallery 2 months ago, it was the halfway point of my national park series.
That exhibition was your largest solo exhibition to date, right? Was that correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know how big my paintings are, guys. And I had 35 paintings up.
Wow.
That's
crazy. It was
crazy.
really big. Yeah.
Is the park series your most successful of all your series, or what are the big sellers for you?
Well, last year, the parks, because we talked in September of last year, and the parks were pretty much what I was focused on. But from last year to this year, I've been doing a lot of ski paintings. I've got a whole series of ski towns and ski runs. Pieces like Fresh Tracks, which just officially sold out of all 25 limited editions in less than a year. Pieces like Bumps, which I did specifically for Winter Park, Colorado. I'm working on a brand new piece for Aspen. And so my ski series is probably just as popular as my national park series. And I just started a new series last month, which is like from the above looking down on our earth. And
I saw that, man. Those are cool.
So there's current and there's flow. And it's a perspective of looking down at a raging river, or looking down at the beach in Hawaii, at the waves coming up on the ocean. And I'm working on a lava flow piece. But right now, the most successful, I would say that the ski series is definitely like taken over the national parks. It's pretty close though. But this flow painting is popular.
I bet. I really love this. I saw this earlier today when I was perusing the website, and I love both the current and the flow, but this flow one, man, it's spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah, I spend probably about 1/4 of my time in Hawaii. In fact, I just got back from Maui this morning. The aloha and the beach and the water is so important to me, and it's inspiring my work more and more.
And it makes sense that you're doing a lot more ski paintings because, you're in these ski towns. A lot of these galleries, are in places where people come to ski. So I could see those being, really, really popular. I love this Park City painting that you did. That's just spectacular, man.
Thank you. And what was cool about that is that Susan Meyer of the Meyer Gallery and I worked together on this piece. I actually not only do I want to be able to go out to lunch and enjoy the people that I'm working with, but I also want to be able to collaborate with them. So every gallery that I sign on to, I do a piece with either the gallery director or the gallery owner. And she's like, Topher, I really want to see the lights of Park City on the mountains above, because those are the people that are going to be buying your house, your paintings for their houses. And sure enough, we've sold a handful of these paintings, and people point to it and say, "Oh, there's my house." But it's a neat collaboration, to be able to work with a gallery, and it's a good test and a good barometer to see how that relationship's going to evolve. And I've done that with Slate Gray and Vail International and Breckenridge, and I'm going to be working on a new piece for Boulder of the Flatirons in winter. And so I love working with the galleries, and I love the galleries I'm in. But this Park City piece is really special. I love it. And that's I'm going to be doing a new piece for Vail, of Vail at night, kind of
Nice.
inspired by Park City.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
And this Deer Valley piece, man, this is a stunner as well.
Thank you. I paint trees, guys, just like Bob Ross. I literally spend my days 6 to 8 hours a day painting trees. And when I shut my eyes, I see trees.
That's awesome. I love that.
I do too. And you know what? I think the only thing you're lacking is maybe the perm. So you might consider that in this next year, if you're going to continue this whole series, right? Which I know you are. Maybe next year you can have the perm.
I think only you two could pull that off.
I don't.
I'm stretching it with my dyed blonde hair. If I perm it, that's one step too far. So
I don't have enough hair anymore. Wes could pull it off though. Wes?
I could, but people wouldn't want to see it. Get hate mail.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta say, national parks. I'm 58 miles away from Badlands National Park, dude.
Well, if you remember last year, I made a promise to you, and so I remember I promised that I would come and sleep on your floor.
That's right.
And paint Badlands, and the Badlands are amazing and beautiful. So, sometime in the next, before 2.5 years, I'm going to call you up and be like, "Hey, Wes, remember episode 432 when you offered to let me stay on your floor?"
It'll be open, man. The floor is there.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll probably stay in a hotel, but I would love to go out to dinner with you guys.
Oh, most definitely. And you are more than welcome to stay at my house. Like I
Thank
said,
you,
my mom's
Paulo.
still with us, so she's got to spare, but the floor is there for you.
Well, what I love about my work is that I love going to these locations and experiencing this great nature of our country. The national parks are truly our greatest resource and our greatest emblem of freedom that this country has. It's the most important thing other than the freedom itself that we need to preserve for generations. The fact that I can bring my son to Badlands and he'll be able to experience it. And, I'm pretty confident that his kids will be able to experience it too.
Yeah.
So I love experiencing national parks, and I love going on site to paint paintings, and it's cool because I literally am delivering. I have 2 people delivering paintings for me now, one on the Western Slope, and then one more local. But when I deliver paintings, I always make sure, if I have to go to Breckenridge, I'll bring 3 paintings to put up in the gallery to replace paintings that sold, along with my cross-country skis. Because if we don't enjoy the journey, the ride, then why do it?
Yeah. And I remember the last time you talked the story about doing the mountain with your son and your mom. Remember that story?
Yeah. Yeah, the bike ride up to the top of Maroon Bells. That was amazing.
That's right. So, and I see you and your kid going all over the place, and it's fun just to watch you on Instagram. So, and Facebook. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about books, you mentioned this art book that you want to do, and I can't wait to see that. But last year you were talking about you're writing a book called, I think at the time you were titling it Aloha Love. And how's that coming along? Are you still working on that?
Yeah. In fact, I just wrote some Aloha Love. Yesterday was my birthday, and I wrote about. Well, can I read a little bit? Can I give you guys a little preview?
Yeah.
Aloha Love. Funny, it took me 45 years to wake up with a smile. It took us all to be in a pandemic in solitary isolation to realize the power of connection, the value of love, the importance of embracing it along with compassion, what it means to be a real man, a man that feels, a man that loves, the curious social norms and conditions that we all place on each other since birth. How liberating it is that we can write down our own story and our own narrative, to choose who impacts us and who doesn't deserve a role in your life. I finally love me, my past, my present, my every failure, and my pain. My pain is now savored as much as my victories. Sometimes we need to undo all that we think we are to find the core of who we really are, and more importantly, who we wish to be. This story, Aloha Love, is about figuring out what love means to me and how to express it. My journey starts dark as fuck and then fills with overwhelming light. We always have hope. No matter how dark the shit gets, hope is our very foundation.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah, love it.
So it's coming along, and it's kind of like very poetic, and it's like stories of my life intertwined with like my paintings and talking about where I was when I was doing certain paintings. And the Topher that you have met now and that you've met during your podcast, this is me. I'm very authentic, and I'm very happy, and I'm very positive and energetic. But 5 years ago, I was not. I had to work hard, really hard, to get to this point where I'm shining now. And we all have these moments in life. It's all being part of humanity. And I think what a real man is someone who can say, hey, I want to be better, and I want to embrace my community, and I want to share how vulnerable I am and how I love and the mistakes that I've made and that I'll probably make again. So the book is going well, and I wasn't ready to read it. That's the first time anyone's ever heard any of it, but it felt good to speak it out loud. So thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing it, man. That's
definitely
really special. I appreciate that. Last year, you also mentioned that you were like playing around, kind of thinking about venturing into sculpture.
That's one thing that I have. I'm talking to multiple fabricators right now.
Yeah.
And the galleries that I've shared my idea with, like Vail International, if it turns out as good as I think it is, and they're gonna start to have them on display. So the sculptures will have a house to be displayed. I've been prototyping them, but one new thing that's going to happen is I'm meeting really, really, really successful people, business leaders, who are saying, Topher, can I give you some advice? Sure, please. I learned that I'm the point of failure for my business, that what I'm doing with my national parks and my ski series and my paintings is working fantastically. And if I need to understand the risk reward of doing sculptures, because I am the point of failure. I've got a team around me now helping me out. I've got a great team of people helping me out with logistics and operations and marketing and all kinds of stuff and driving pieces all around. But really, I have this stress, right? Like I'm employing people now, and I need to keep this thing going so that I can continue to employ my friends. And I'm the point of failure. If this sculpture thing isn't right, that could cause me to only do one painting every 2 months and not stay on point. So I am moving forward with it. It's not as far along as I thought it would be because of the advice that I've gotten along the way. And I think as artists and as people, we all need to be able to pivot a little bit and say, okay, well, I see logic in that. And so I'm moving forward with it. Hopefully this time next year, they'll be out because they are going to be super cool. But yeah, that's one thing that I've kind of re-pivoted on.
Yeah.
I think that's just smart, man. I mean, you've had a lot of success in this past year, and I think it's easy to take that and run, just full bore as fast as you possibly can, and not really stop to like, smell the roses, but also not really assess what's going on around you and what's working. And, what's working, but it's easy to lose sight of that by jumping into something that maybe you're not ultra familiar with, or you're not, maybe you're not thinking all the logistics of it. So I think you're smart by heeding this advice from, other successful business people that, have kind of giving these little tidbits of, wisdom.
Thank you. And it's also aesthetically being conscientious of my brand and my visual look and maintaining it. There's the paintings of mine that haven't been selling as strongly are different paintings visually that don't have my bold colors and my sweeping lines so I understand what my brand is, and I love doing it, guys. I love creating my work and improving my craft, but I also need to stay disciplined visually on what I'm doing and making this national park series cohesive.
When you look at your body of work, is it ever interesting to you? Do you ever stop? I'm sure you do, but do you ever find it interesting what people really what resonates with them, and things that you like, but for whatever reason it doesn't sell? Maybe it is that different thing. I always like the different. When I see artists, I'm always drawn to what is different in their body of work that, from the big body of work. What sticks out,
Yeah, what I've learned this year, being in 7 galleries and having a tremendous amount of work out there in being viewed, is every gallery's sales are going to be completely different. There's some pieces that sell in Vail that don't sell anywhere else, and other pieces that sell in Breckenridge, and then there's some pieces that, because I have to order these pieces to be produced, and, it cost a lot to do it. And I was like, oh, this painting Duets is going to be so butter. It's going to be so hot. I'm going to order 4 of them. And they didn't sell. And I've got a closet of paintings that I ordered way too much of and didn't do my inventory planning correctly. And now I've got advice on that and weekly meetings with some people that kind of say, okay, let's try this, let's do that. But duets, I have like 5 duets in my house right now, and they haven't been popular and haven't been received. And then boom, all of a sudden someone's like, Topher, I'd like to see duets, and it sells. And that's how the art world is. There's no rhyme or reason or logic to it. And some pieces that aren't fire out of the gate will catch fire if they're good later. And so I just kind of, I'm in the water, and I'm going with the current and the flow, and it's taking me where it wants to take me. And I'm just doing what I can do, and what I don't have control of. It's all kind of manifesting the way that it's meant to manifest. So
last year we talked about your wine collaboration. How is that going?
Well, you know what? You can't get it anymore because it's sold out. And you know what else you can't get? In less than 6 months, I did a hat collaboration with Yo Colorado. They have their stores in Golden, and they sell REI, and you'll see them all over Colorado. And my Yo Colorado hats for Be Golden to raise money for food insecurity have sold out in less than 6 months. So the wine and the hats have sold out, and I've got Christmas ornaments coming out. Even though I'm not a big Christmas fan, but I was approached by an organization called Leadership Golden, which helps young entrepreneurs to start their career and have business mentors. And they do Christmas ornaments and every year. And so they asked me to do it. I have a hard time saying no. So when I use my art in a commercial way, whether it be for my wine or for hats or Christmas ornaments, I'm talking to a pretty big blanket company right now. There's some cool stuff going on a national level, but it's always for charity, right? Because I want to use my art to do good. I don't want to use it to put on t-shirts and go into my pocket. And in regards to the wine, there's going to be a new bottle of red wine coming out in 2024, a reserve red bottle from Savas Spectrum Winery. And so we're going to get that out there. But the wine is, I have a couple bottles here. If you guys ever come up to the house, I would love to give you a bottle, but you can't buy it anymore. We raised a lot of money for Conservation Colorado through that wine project. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's so spectacular, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw that you over the last 9 months or so you've been able to garner a fair amount of really fantastic press. Cowboys and Indians magazine did a spread on you. Western Art and Architecture, and then recently Foothills Living did an article.
A cover story, yeah.
Yeah. So you're garnering some really phenomenal press. How does that all come about? Are people just finding you? Are you reaching out to them and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing? How does that work these days for you?
Well, I used to reach out, and I used to be pretty aggressive and reach out to different magazines and different appropriate places. But now, people are coming to me. So, for example, my dear friend Corinne Joy Brown, she said, amazing woman, and an amazing writer, and now an amazing friend. She's been following my career, and I had no idea. And she's like, Topher, I want to pitch a story to Cowboys and Indians about you. And so she just kind of came out of the blue, and that's what's kind of happening. Those last three examples you gave were all totally out of the blue and a total wonderful surprise, including the Foothills Living thing. My mom, my son, and I were on the cover of the magazine, and we were all part of this story, which was really amazing and a gift. My mom, I didn't know this about her. She's like the most influential person in my life. And then my son, right? But my mom told me that it was always her dream to be on the cover of a magazine. And
that's awesome.
That is.
The greatest part of this whole thing, of what's going on, of having my own gallery, Breckenridge, and the shows and all that, is that my wonderful mom gets to see this happening. She invested so much into me, and she believed in me during my dark time, and she never stopped believing, and she never stopped doing everything she could to give me a foundation to stand on and to enable me to shine, and never stop believing. And now she gets to see the wine and all this crazy shit that's been going on, and that's what warms my heart the most about this whole journey.
That's wonderful, man.
That is.
Hey, I was also reading about this collaboration you're doing with Marriott Luxury Collection Hotels. You have this Topher Art Walk. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's another thing that just came out of the fucking blue. There's a organization out of Mexico that helps hotels kind of during their reformation period, right? So they found me, and they said that I'm kind of a voice for Colorado, and that they would love to feature my art in the $41 million renovation of the old Marriott Hotel in Lions Head. Totally gutted the place. And it is a fantastic hotel, right? And they approached me and said, Topher, we want you to have the Topher Straus Art Walk right off the lobby. And it's a fantastic thing that it happened last year, right after we talked. And I had to hustle to make it all come together from a legal perspective. I had to cover my ass legally, and I had to get things driven out here by my friend immediately, and had to really, really make a lot of things come together. But it's been amazing. The Hyatt Hotel is truly just an amazing property. I love going to the restaurants. I love doing my art walk, meeting people. I've done art talks there. I'm doing an art talk in December with the Hyatt Hotel, and it totally came out of the blue, and it's kind of a dream come true to have an art walk.
Yeah, man, that is absolutely spectacular. Talking about talks, you've been doing some of these marketing and branding seminars. Talk a little bit about that.
Again, like out of the blue, this Canadian company called Masteress was like, Topher, would you like to teach artists how to market themselves and do what you're doing? And I'm like, this was right around the time when I was dealing with some haters. And I'm like, that's how I can deal with the haters, is I can do what I can do for other artists that want to listen and want to grow. And so I've done 3 or 4 of these classes now with Masteress. They call me a master artist, and I don't know how the hell that happened, but I have a group of about 12 Canadian and Australian women. I haven't had any men in my group, and they're all artists and all amazing people. I love everyone in my groups, and I teach 2 hours a month for a 6-month period. But every class that I've done, they say, we want to learn more. We want to go further. And this is cool, guys. One of the things that I've started to teach in my course is the importance of giving back. And I was like, okay, guys, this is your assignment. You're going to design a product for a local charity and approach a company and try to make it happen. And so one of the ladies in my class came out with her own label of beer to raise money for female firefighters who have families. And then this new class that I'm teaching, we're going to be releasing greeting cards this holiday and giving money to children internationally, and picking what charities we're going to be dealing with, but putting our art on cards and selling them, and they came up with that idea. And giving is contagious. And I love teaching. I didn't think I'd love it, but it's pretty fantastic and pretty fun. And they're always like, Topher, you have so much energy. How do you do it? Like, do you drink like 10 Mountain Dews? And what do you do? And I'm like, no, it's just who I am, because I love what I do.
Yeah. And you can tell, man, it's infectious. It is.
It is infectious. I could feel it right now, brother.
Woo! Cow!
Ride that wave, baby.
Boom.
Hey, as we wrap this up, is there anything else that you want to promote or talk about or looking forward to between now and the end of 2022, or things that you want to talk about that are coming up in 2023?
Let's see, 2023, going to be doing a solo exhibition in Vail called Colorado. And that's going to be opening in July. I'm going to be doing a solo exhibition with Breckenridge Gallery. I mean, I already have my Topher Straus Gallery below, but we're going to take over the Breckenridge Gallery above too. So they want to have a bigger show than what Vail did. So that's coming up. I think in March of 2023. Got my Christmas ornaments coming up. I have so much. Every week, something new and crazy and wonderful pops up. So I appreciate you guys doing the research and be like, hey, Topher, you should talk about your art walk or this or that. But I guess the main thing that I want to say is like, I'm so full of gratitude and love. And, the path that I was on, I was on a dark journey for a while, and it took my son saying, Papa, I want to be able to look up to you. Start sharing your art. And that was the catalyst, is my son. And, you got to listen to the people that ride in your car in the carpool lane, and you don't listen to the people that don't fuel your engine, So I'm really grateful, guys. Like I'm a big dreamer. I have tremendous goals and aspirations and purpose, but in all my wild dreams and all the future planning I do, I can't have ever imagined this life that is going on right now for me. It's beyond any kind of expectation I ever had, and so I'll be excited to see, when we talk next year, what's progressed, because we don't know, right? That's the beauty of life. And we didn't know about the pandemic or this or that. And so there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. But I think the way that I've navigated these waters so far is just taking a look at myself and making sure that I'm happy with what I'm doing. And if I'm not, making changes, and not being afraid to say, hey, I messed up, or not being afraid to say, hey, I don't need your energy in my life, so peace out, or I want more of your energy because you're an amazing, amazing person. So life is all about learning and taking care of yourself so you can take care of other people. So I'd encourage every artist that's listening to this podcast to take care of yourself and do what you need to do to keep happy and keep creating your work. And then once you've got that foundation, then it's time to start looking at your community and figuring out what fuels your tank.
Well, I just got to say, I've been so excited to talk to you tonight. I love talking to you. And I got so excited. I signed up for your freaking newsletter, man. So I can't wait to start getting that. No, yes, I got your newsletter all filled out, and it's in your inbox, man. And if the listeners out there, if you're fired up, go to his website, sign up for his newsletter, follow him where he's at. And if you're curious about what the first 2 episodes of Topher was like, episode 31 was the first time we meet Topher and really just get like baptism of excitement out of there. And the second one, the first annual Topher reunion was episode 94. So go back. I encourage you, go back. I'll see the numbers. Go back, listen to those episodes, and tell me you're not fired up for Topher. So, man, I'm just excited.
Oh, man. Topher, thank you once again for spending time with us on our annual reunion. And I love you, brother. I am definitely on Team Topher. I love everything that you do. I think you need the t-shirt that says "Listen to your carpool." I think that should be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right. And I look forward to seeing you again in person. It's been a while. I think it was last fall, actually. We did after the podcast we did last year. I saw you a couple times within a period of like a month, but I haven't seen you since. So yeah. And Meow Wolf, Cohen Gallery, and Megan Wilbar's exhibition that we went to. But yeah, so it's great to reconnect with you again and see you. And God, we got to see each other in person. So I'm gonna make that happen here in the next month for sure. I know we said it last year, but this time I'm making it happen. So
please do it mean a lot if you can come up to Breckenridge to my gallery at 124 on Main. I'll meet you up there, Todd. Or if you come to the Height to the Art Walk. But I'd love for you to see what I'm doing further west, outside of Denver, in the mountains, in the ski towns. So,
all right, let's do it. It's a plan. We'll make it happen. All right. Again, follow Topher on Instagram at Creative Topher and check out his stunning work at his website, topherstraus.com. And as Wes mentioned just a moment ago, you can find those 2 episodes in our archives. For the Tenant Podcast, I'm Todd Pearson.
And I'm Wes Brown.
Have a great week.